Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids and welcome to my Q&A session for the 25th of January 2011. Now this Q&A session is answering questions that were actually put in the comments section on my Q&A session on the 11th of January and also questions that I've received via my iPhone app. Now before I kick off this session, just a couple of quick mentions. This is the multi-angle Q&A session and it's being recorded with 3 Kodak Playtouch cameras, part of my Kodak Playtouch project for this month, and I hope you enjoy all of the multi-angle. Shows you what you can achieve with the Kodak Playtouch cameras. Second announcement, and then we'll get on with the Q&As, is I'm actually using this Tegatech Tega V2 tablet, and I'm using this just to read the questions off this time, just to see how it performs. You can see it a little bit on the close-up cam, and I just want to tell you about the different angles on the cameras as well. I've got camera 1, which is straight in front of me there. Hi everyone. And we've also got camera 2 off to the side here, which is just giving you a different angle of myself. And then just behind me, this little camera up here, we have got camera 3, which is giving you the close-up of the Tega V2 tablet. So on with the questions that were posed to me for this Q&A session. Now the first one is from Game Muffin TV. Do you like football? I mean real football, the European one. Well, very quickly, it's not really tech related. Yeah, I do like watching football. I mainly watch it with my son, and yeah, definitely the international games as well. League football, I tend to support Chelsea. Please, no haters in the comments. Don't watch it that much, but yeah, certainly just the odd game at weekends, I certainly do watch. So on with the next question. Which microphone do you use to record audio in your videos? And that's from the Technology 101. Well, I use a whole different range of microphones. While I've been doing the Kodak Playtouch project, I've been using some, I think they're called yoga mics. Also been using a stereo clone microphone. The main one that I use is what I'm using at the moment to record the audio on this video, and that's a Sennheiser EW101G2, and that's a wireless microphone set up with a little lapel mic. I've got one on here, and I think they're up to G3 now, so there's a new range out, but it works extremely well, good quality audio, and you don't have to find yourself shouting because you've got this lapel mic on. It picks up your voice very nicely, and you're not sort of shouting to a camera over the other side of the room. So great question there. Okay, this one's a bit of a weird question, but it's from Heineken 100. What Macs will the Mac OS line come to, and when? Well, Mac OS line's due out in the summer of 2011, and you're asking what Macs it will come to. Well, it will obviously be available on all of the current range of Macs. And what Apple tend to do is they tend to support Macs round about, I think it's around about 4 to 6 years back in the product line. So I think when line is available, it will probably be Intel only. Well, most definitely Intel only. So that takes it back to the first of the Intel Core Duo Macs in the lineup. So they will be available to actually upgrade. It'll be probably a purchasable upgrade, but then all the current Macs in the lineup will definitely run Lion as well. So great question. Next one is from J Santana 319. Do you still use the 15-inch MacBook Pro glossy high resolution? Well, no, I don't. That one actually went back to Apple, and instead of investing in a new laptop, I went through a couple of iMacs, and then I settled on making that extra investment in the Mac Pro. I think I went that way purely because the way the Geekanoids channel's going, and I find myself editing so much video that I really needed a sort of a high performance and a very reliable computer. So I went with the Mac Pro. Haven't regretted it. Very happy with the decision. And for portability's sake, at the moment I haven't got a laptop. I'm using this tablet. I'm also going to be getting in another iPad, so I can start doing some more iPad reviews. But yeah, in answer to your question, no longer got the 15-inch MacBook Pro. Let's just see. Next question is from Shayanijaz. Dave, in the video in which you showed that you received a new laptop, you said, I would not buy a Dell laptop. Is there a reason for not buying a Dell laptop? Well, that was just my opinion really. If you check my channel yesterday on Monday, then you will have seen that I did actually review a Dell XPS 15 laptop. So it's a very appropriate question you've asked there. Now, if I wasn't so heavily involved in the whole Mac scene, reviewing Mac applications, reviewing their hardware and software, etc., then maybe I wouldn't be as loyal or as dedicated to using the Mac OS platform. But if I was given a choice, if two were put out in front of me, then I would not choose a Windows 7 machine. Now, that's not to say they're not capable. Windows 7 is extremely good as an OS. So back to your question about Dell, if you're looking for a Windows-based laptop or desktop, then yeah, why not? I'm just saying I wouldn't personally spend my money on one. If I had the choice of buying the Dell XPS 15, for example, or a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, I would always choose the Apple laptop. I find them more reliable. I also get on a lot better with the OS, but I'm not slating PCs or Windows-based laptops. If that's what you like, if that's the OS you're interested in or used to using, then yeah, go ahead, get a Dell laptop, or any of the other brands as well. Dell are one of the better brands, especially their XPS line. If you checked that review out yesterday, you would have seen that it's very well made indeed. So, fantastic question. Next question is from Pimp Your iPhone 3G. Now, before I read out this question, actually, Pimp Your iPhone 3G, great channel, well worth checking out. And he actually poses a lot of questions, a lot of comments on my video, so thank you very much for that. This one is just asking, where would you be if all this tech had not come to the market? Well, where would I be? Well, I wouldn't, if there'd been no technology like this come to the market, I certainly wouldn't be doing YouTube videos. Certainly wouldn't have even been doing graphic design, which is what I did previously. And prior to that, I was an IBM engineer. So if we hadn't had the technology then, I wouldn't have been able to do the IBM job either. So where would I be? I would probably be doing photography with a film camera, with a little lab somewhere, processing my own photos. Absolutely love photography. So yeah, I would imagine I would be a photographer. If that technology hadn't been invented, then who knows? Perhaps I'd have been a carpenter, something like that. So very good question. Next question is from Carbon Kid 2. Dave, do you like to keep all your tech clean and near new condition? Do you clean your tech devices, and if so, what with? Well, yes, I do like to keep them clean, especially the touch screens on my devices, especially like my trackpad that's sitting behind me there on the Mac, my mouse and the screens. Yeah, definitely a good idea to keep it all clean. Rule of thumb that I do is I just sort of polish all the dust away once every sort of 3-4 days. I use a microfiber cloth just to wipe the screens. I don't generally use any liquid on them. If I do use liquid, I use eye clear on my main sort of LCD screens behind me. On my mobile devices at the moment, I either use Monster Eye Clean or Brasso Gadget Care. And I'm not brand loyal really. I use those because I was sent them to test and I've still got some of the solution left, and they work extremely well indeed. So yeah, it's a good idea to keep everything nice and clean. Makes it a lot more pleasant to use. So thank you very much for that question. Next question is from iAdam19. Hey Dave, as usual, brilliant videos. Thank you very much. I'm looking to change my Mac setup during 2011 and will definitely be looking to move away from laptops for my primary computer. I've looked at a 21.5-inch iMac with a 11.6 inch MacBook Air being the secondary portable. Do you think this is a good setup? I'd mainly be doing video photo editing on the iMac, but I've also looked at the Mac Mini to save costs. Which would you recommend? Well, there is another question, but I'll answer this one first. If you're looking to move away from laptops, then personally, yeah, using that MacBook Air as a secondary computer, great idea. You'd even probably get away with an iPad as a secondary, really, if it's just for checking emails and surfing, etc. 21.5 inch iMac, yeah, that would be absolutely fine for your video and photo editing work. Can't fault that at all. Very, very good decision. Very good place to start with a desktop as well. If you can afford it, go up to the 27 inch, but if the 21.5 inch is perfectly okay for what you're looking for, great screen size and great machine, so definitely. Also, I've been looking at a Panasonic Lumix G2. Would you recommend this camera? Well, I've only played with one for a short period of time. I haven't actually used one. The G2, fantastic little camera going by the reviews. GF2 just come out, also a superb camera, so maybe look at that as well. I do like the Olympus pen range. I am partial to that. I tested an Olympus pen EPL1 about a year ago when it was launched, and very, very impressed. So check that out as well. But the Panasonic range, top-notch quality. So definitely worth considering. Next one is from Chris Inch. Do you use iTunes for managing your iPhone or other alternative programs? Could you recommend any alternative programs for managing your iPhone? I personally use iTunes for managing all of my apps, all of my music, and the photos that go onto my mobile device as well. So yeah, I personally use iTunes. There are some others available, and the names of them actually just have gone from my memory all of a sudden. So I'll put this one out to the viewers. Leave in the comments below, obviously, your questions for the next Q&A. But if you use something other than iTunes to manage your applications and music on your iPhone or iOS device, leave it in the comments below so that Chris Inch can actually pick up on your suggestions, and I'll certainly be interested in taking a look too to see what everybody else uses to manage their iOS devices. So great question. Also, Chris Inch has said that I should make these podcasts available in MP3 format so you could put them on your iPhone and listen on the go. That is something I'm looking into. I do keep getting asked to do a podcast, so making something like this available as an iTunes podcast is certainly something I will explore, so watch this space. Rav07. Now, Rav, I've already answered this in the comments, but you asked where I got my little video light. In one of my previous videos, and I'm using it for the Kodak Playtouch project, I picked up these 126 LED video lights. I've actually got one sitting off to the side here on this video, and I picked it up on eBay, £37.49 delivered. Very, very pleased with it. I think the only downside is it runs off rechargeable batteries, so you do have to recharge the battery and keep that topped up, but extremely pleased. It creates a very nice white light. So fantastic question. Thank you very much for that. I'm not going to be able to answer all of these questions in this Q&A because there are just too many. Next question is from... it's from GDW22. I should answer this one really. Since buying your MacBook Air 13-inch, have you found you use your MacBook Pro that you bought last year less? Well, I don't have the MacBook Pro anymore, and the MacBook Air 13-inch, I don't have that either, and I'll tell you why. Now, I haven't publicly let you know about this, but the MacBook Air actually had logic board problems, kept on having kernel panics, so it was actually sent back to Apple, and I opted not to have it replaced. Now, the reason I did that is because the iPad 2 is coming out. I'm going to use the funds to make sure I can get in a review product for the iPad 2. If I was purchasing another laptop, then I would definitely recommend the MacBook Air 13-inch. It was absolutely fantastic, very light, good performer, excellent for surfing, the internet, also doing emails and photo and video editing as well, was fine on it. Photoshop ran really nicely, so it is very good. And if I had had the two machines at the same time, I would have definitely get rid of one of them, and it would have been the MacBook Pro, and I would have kept the MacBook Air. So I hope that sort of answers your question. Next one is from Macintosh. Was this video, and he's referring to the last Q&A, shot with the Canon 60D, and if not, when are you going to start using it? Well, no, the last Q&A session wasn't shot with the 60D, it was shot with my Panasonic SD700. Canon 60D is still sitting in my drawer. I have used it for some photography. It won't be staying with me full time. What I'm going to be doing is I'll be doing a series of videos with it starting around mid-February, and then the Canon 60D will be sold on. I won't be able to keep that. I sort of recycle some of these things I buy for cash flow purposes. Allows me to buy a few more things into review. But yes, I will be using it from February the 13th onwards for probably around about 4 weeks. So thanks very much for that question. Next one is from Matt10. Is an NVIDIA GeForce 9600 M GT 1GB good? Well, for the money, that particular graphics card does perform extremely well. If you're looking for decent gaming performance, yeah, that's a good place to start. If you're on a budget as well, very, very good price. So yeah, that is a good graphics card. Next one is from Shosh. What GCSEs do I need to be a graphic designer? Well, I don't know about today, but when I was younger, I got into graphic design by self-teaching myself. I sat with Quark Express, Photoshop and freehand, Macromedia freehand back then, and I taught myself how to use it so that I knew the applications inside and out. With regards to what GCSEs you should look at nowadays, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would think English is a very good one, Maths is a very good one because it allows you to do calculations for measurements within the application, and also art and design. So those three applications, sorry, hold up two fingers, that proves I'm not very good at maths. Those three GCSEs, so maths, English and art and design, maybe that's 4, I don't know if art and design are sort of bundled into one now, would be a very good place to start. And then maybe just offer your services to charities, maybe some churches free of charge to do their newsletters, etc. That's a really good way to get started in practicing your skills as well. So fantastic question. Let's move on to the next one. And the next one is from Brandon Scott 1001. He wants to know how you actually pronounce my YouTube name. Very, very simple. A lot of people go Davo. Well, it's actually Davo Mr. Mac. My name's Dave, and at the time I just wanted something that was Mac related, so Davo Mr. Mac stuck, and that's what I'm known about. So that's how you pronounce it, Davo Mr. Mac. So thank you very much for asking that. Next one is from H King. Similar sort of question to the last one, but he's just asking about doing GCSEs and for using the iPhone and iTunes. Would a Mac Mini be good in a secondary school? So you want something for doing your coursework on by the sounds of it, and yeah, a Mac Mini would be absolutely fine. Either that or a white MacBook, around about the same sort of price, perfectly capable of running iTunes for managing your iPhone, and also equally as capable for running something like Pages or Numbers for doing your coursework, or even if you wanted to put Microsoft Office for Mac on there, run absolutely fine. So yeah, very, very good choice. Next one is is actually from Pure Creative Designs. He's got the Fujifilm HS10 camera, and he's asking if you can actually do any better on the sound by plugging in an external mic. Well, I've actually just finished testing the HS10, and you're right in saying it hasn't got an external microphone jack, so there's not really a lot you can do about bettering the sound. The sound is what you're going to get with the HS10. You check out my channel next week, then you will see my review go up on the HS10, and unfortunately there's not a lot you can do about the sound quality. I thought it was okay though, So you're going to really have to, if you want to use an external mic, you're going to have to invest in a camera that has that external mic socket. Next question. Now I'm not going to read all of this one out because it's a very, very long question, but XX Hardcore XX Gamer XX, can't even say your username, XX Hardcore XX Gamer XX. Whew. What are your thoughts on Windows Phone 7? And then he goes on to ask a few more questions about if I think Microsoft is back in the game. Well, Microsoft Windows 7, when I tested it, very, very impressed. It offers up a nice fluid user interface, a good alternative to Android and the iOS. There have been some problems reported lately with excessive data use on the handsets. If you put the screen to sleep and you're already downloading something over Wi-Fi, it will switch to 3G. There's been a few other things about it using data when you're in bed and the phone's actually in sleep mode. So I've got my doubts on that front. I think for it to succeed and dethrone some of these other devices, Microsoft have to give us plenty of updates for Windows Phone 7. They need to stay on top of the game. They need to push out updates regularly and fix bugs as they're reported. If they do that, they could be onto a winner. So very, very good question. Next one is from JackinHo24. Are you going to keep your iPod Touch now you have an iPhone 4? Well, very, very short answer. Yes, I am going to keep it. It allows me to test the current range of cases and bring you reviews about them. I know it's a duplicate sort of device for the iPhone 4, but yet for now I will be keeping it. So thank you very much for that question. Next question from Fangorth000. What's your favourite Unix-based operating system besides OS 10? I haven't got one. Sorry, OS 10 all the way for me. Now, a lot of people didn't like what I was saying about not buying a PC in the last Q&A, about that people can use a PC and not get viruses, and Gumball Tech has made a very good comment, so it's not exactly a question, but I will read this out. He says, I used to get angry when people would bring up viruses as their reason for hating PCs, but it's so generic now that it's sort of funny. Bottom line, if people are that dumb to not know what they're downloading or running, then they shouldn't be near a computer. I've never gotten a virus. Why? I know what I'm downloading and I know where I'm going online. So easy. Very, very true. I do agree with that. If you only go to trusted sites, you don't download pirated software, and don't go to these sort of dubious sites, then yeah, you are pretty safe from getting a virus. The point I was trying to make with my argument about why I wouldn't buy a PC is I do get annoyed with like the reminders coming up on the screen about updating. I know you can manage it and get it to update automatically and things like that. Just a personal opinion, but I do agree with Gumball Tech, you can have a virus-free Windows PC if you're careful about what sites you go to and what you download. So it's a very valid point. Next question is, well, I'll do this one from Kai7K. Will you be doing a review of the Canon PowerShot SX130IS and SX210IS? Well, don't hold me to this, but I'm going to try and do a review on the SX130IS out of those two. I won't be doing the 210, but definitely will try and do the 130. Next one is from Aaron R90A. How would one get over the nervousness of talking to the camera? Well, Aaron, if you check back on probably my first sort of dozen or so videos, you'll see I'm very nervous in front of the camera. And the only way you can get over the nervousness is to just keep on going. Just keep recording yourself. You'll get comfortable with all the cameras around you. I mean, I've got 3 going now and they're invisible to me. So just keep practicing. Don't let people put you down. You're going to get people comment on your videos saying, oh, you were so nervous, you're rubbish. You're going to get a lot of hate mails. People do comment and are very, very vocal if you make a mistake in the video. I've had lots of bad comments on mine, just carry on. If you enjoy what you're doing, just keep practicing and it will become easier. So fantastic question. So let's answer this one. Okay, we'll do this one. Techno M Tiger Geek. Sorry for the inconvenience, but can you answer this question as soon as possible? I'm buying a desktop PC and MacBook Pro. I'm not quite sure that you need a better core processor or better RAM memory. What does each on exactly do? Thanks a lot, love your video. So he's asking basically what the better processor does in comparison to more or better RAM. Well, my rule of thumb is when you're buying a new computer, Mac or PC, not so much with PCs because they're easier to upgrade the processors, but definitely on the Mac lineup, you want to buy the best and fastest processor you can afford. Now the processor allows the computer to actually churn through lots and lots of instructions in a shorter amount of time. So it just makes the whole computer a lot faster for doing sort of maths processing and all the things that are needed to do things like video editing, photo editing, etc. So always buy the best and fastest processor you can afford. With regards to what the RAM does, well, the RAM, random access memory, gives the computer more space to run applications. So the more RAM you have, the more responsive your applications would feel, and the more applications you can have running at the same time. So you can always add RAM on at a later stage. So it's not so important to buy loads and loads of memory to start off with, because you could upgrade that later. So I hope that's answered your question. Thank you very much for posing that one. Now, as I say, I've had so many questions on this last Q&A that I'm not going to be able to answer them all. So if your question doesn't get answered, please do post it again in the comments of this video and I will try and answer it next time around. I'm going to answer one last one from the previous video, and then I'm going to move on to the ones that I received via the iPhone application. Well, I'm going to answer two actually. I'm going to answer these top two. This one's from the Unix 3, and again, the Unix 3, that's Zen. Check out his videos, very, very good channel. Could you list the model number of the monitors you are using? Any specific brand you recommend? Looking at the Samsung P2450H. Now, he's seen the monitors that are behind me in my videos, and they are around here, and they're Oyama ProLite E2472 HDs, so E2472 HDs from Oyama. And the reason I bought those two monitors was that they're LED backlights. They produce a very cool sort of white backlight to them. They do go very bright. Some people complain they go too bright, but you can adjust the brightness down, obviously, you know that already. Pretty colour accurate, not the most colour accurate monitors I've ever seen, but I found them to be very, very consistent colour wise. And the price, I think I paid around about £165 each for them, so good price as well. They do also have an HDMI port on the back, which I thought I would get because at some stage I might plug in a PS3 or an Xbox 360 to them. But for now, very, very pleased that I bought them, and I certainly would recommend the Oyama range of monitors. I think they also come with a 3-year on-site warranty, so don't quote me on that. But Zen, if you're looking for a good recommendation or you want to have a chat to me about these, then get in touch. But I hope that certainly answers your question. Next one is from Arrow One Archer. I'm just getting into photography and was wondering what DSLR I could get for under £500. I've heard Nikon were very good, but what would you recommend? Well, Sony Alpha A33, that's under the £500 mark. Very good camera, very good performer as well. Canon EOS 550D, also a very good camera. Or the Nikon that you mentioned, the D3100, might come in around about that budget, and they all perform extremely well. When you're buying a camera and spending that sort of money, you've really got to think long term. look at the lenses that are available for the camera as well, because somewhere down the line you will want to purchase another lens. And I always say you invest in the lenses, so buy good quality lenses. But once you've bought a lens, you're sort of tied into that manufacturer. So if you buy 2 or 3 lenses for your Nikon camera, and then you want to upgrade in the future, you're going to have to buy another Nikon body. So consider that as well. But those 3 that I mentioned are all sort of equal performers really, and any of them will do a good job at getting you into digital photography. So now I'm moving on to the questions I received via the iPhone application, and the first one is from Lee. Any tips for a fellow UK blogger trying to get a site and YouTube channel off the ground? Main tips I can give you is do a good design on your channel, think about what you're going to cover, and be consistent. So if you can commit enough time to it to upload 1 video a week, then do that 1 video a week on the same day every week. If you can do more than 1, say you can do 2, then do that regularly and do it on the same days so people get used to when they're going to look out for your videos. Speak clearly, always be polite, be honest, communicate with your viewers, and there's not a lot more you can do, and just give it time. It's not instant. You can't just start a channel up and get loads of viewers. It will take time. But if you keep going, then you will get there. So good luck with your new channel. Now the next one is from Ridwan, and he asks, what is the best iPhone case you have ever reviewed? Well, I've reviewed a lot of iPhone cases in the past. The best iPhone 4 case that I reviewed to date, and I still stand by this, is just one I personally liked, and that was the ProPorter Mitsu shell. Very simple silicon case, but it did the job and it was made very well as well. So the ProPorter Mitsu shell. Next question is from Patch. My question is, what has your job been before doing the Geekanoids channel, and what got you into it? Well, I've always liked technology. I did cover this off actually in previous questions, but my history basically was a long time ago. I used to do an Amiga magazine called Amiga Maniacs. It was a subscription based sort of membership magazine, very sort of club orientated. That was absolutely fantastic. Then I moved across to IBM and did IBM installations in a lot of the banks in the UK. Then I got into graphic design when the IBM contract came to an end, and then from graphic design I moved across into testing products and writing, and then the writing led on to producing the videos that you watch on my YouTube channel. So fantastic question, thank you very much for that one. And I really am sorry, there's no way I'm going to be able to answer all of these. I've got one here which is from somebody called S. Abba. When are you going to review the Samsung Nexus S, and what desktop do you use? Well, the Samsung or Google Nexus S mobile phone is available in the UK now. I have requested it numerous times but haven't been sent one, so I'm actually going to try and bring a review as soon as I can get hold of a sample model. What desktop do I use? Well, I use the Mac Pro. It's a quad-core Mac Pro with 2 24-inch monitors, and you can see the monitors sitting behind me. So thank you very much for your question. Now the next one is from Eddie U23. Dave, who are your 5 favourite YouTubers? Okay, in no particular order, the YouTubers I tend to watch the most are the Unix 3, so Zen at the Unix 3. I watch all of his videos. I watch Mquan's videos, very good videos. I watch John Falaker's videos, and I just recently did an interview with John Rettinger, which you can see on the channel. Absolutely love John's videos. I also watch Mark, Soldier Knows Best videos, so that's 4. And the 5th one, well, I haven't really got a 5th favourite. I suppose I would have to say the Geekanoids channel. No, I'm just kidding. I watch a whole variety of videos on YouTube, so I've got those main 4 ones that come to mind. There's not really a fifth one, to be honest. So there are so many good channels out there and so much good content. I like seeing a lot of these YouTubers now that are producing videos using digital SLRs. It actually creates a really nice sort of feel to the video quality, especially when they use sort of a good depth of field where you're getting a nice blurred background behind the product. And I think that's really good, so I do like seeing that used in videos. So thank you very much, Eddie, for that question. And I'm going to actually more or less close this Q&A session now, because there's just so many. I will do one more question, and that is from E Cartman 12. Hi Dave, couple of questions. What was your first Android device, and did you own an Android device before you actually got the iPhone? Fantastic question. My first Android device was an HTC Magic, the white one that was available on Vodafone only in the UK, but they came out unlocked, so you could run them on any network. So the HTC Magic was my first Android device. Really good phone. Did I have an iPhone before it? Yes, I did. I had the very first iPhone that came out, and it's probably why I've gone round in a complete circle and come back to the iPhone now. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for your question. I'm sorry that I couldn't feature all of them. I'm just getting so many questions now, and I don't have time to do more than one Q&A session every couple of weeks. So apologies if you didn't get your question answered. Please do post any new questions you got in the comments below, or send them via the iPhone application, or you can just pop me an email. Send it to geekanoids@gmail.com and put in the subject line Tech Q&A, and I will try and answer your question next time. The next Q&A session is in 2 weeks' time. Just a quick reminder, this whole video was recorded using 3 Kodak Playtouches. If you want to get my regular updates, follow me on Twitter by following @Geekanoids. And if you like what you're seeing in the videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. Until next time, enjoy your technology and have a great day.
This video review is sponsored by EasyDraw, making drawing fun on Mac OS X.